Listen to me carefully. Some of y'all keep wondering why relationships leave you confused, disappointed, emotionally exhausted, and questioning your own worth. You keep saying, I gave my heart, I gave my time, I gave my energy. So why did it still fall apart? Because attraction alone is not enough. See, a lot of people know how to flirt. A lot of people know how to say beautiful words. A lot of people know how to make you feel special for a moment. But very few people know how to build something real. And if you don't learn how to recognize the difference between genuine intention and temporary attention, life will keep teaching you the same painful lesson in different people. Now let me tell you something nobody talks about enough. Men observe women more than women realize. Oh yeah, they pay attention to how you react when things don't go your way. They notice whether you stand on your standards or abandon them for validation. They notice how quickly they can gain access to your emotions, your time, your body, and your peace. And whether they admit it or not, many men quietly test the emotional strength, maturity, and self-respect of the woman they're dealing with. Not always through words, sometimes through situations, through inconsistency, through pressure, through patience, through boundaries. And the dangerous part is this: many women fail these tests not because they are weak, but because they are too afraid of losing somebody who was never fully committed in the first place. See, when people don't know their value, they start accepting confusion as love. They start calling bare minimum effort potential. They start ignoring red flags because loneliness makes attention feel like affection. But let me tell you something powerful tonight. A woman who understands her worth moves differently. She does not panic for attention. She does not beg for consistency. She does not abandon her standards just to keep somebody interested. And because of that, she becomes unforgettable. This conversation is not about teaching women how to manipulate men. No, this is about awareness. This is about emotional intelligence. This is about understanding human behavior so you stop giving your heart to people who only came to borrow your energy temporarily. Because real love does not require you to lose yourself to keep it. The right connection will bring clarity, respect, effort, honesty, and peace, not constant confusion, anxiety, and emotional games. So today we're going to talk honestly. We're going to talk about the ways men test women they truly want. We're going to talk about boundaries, consistency, emotional maturity, self-respect, and the difference between attention and genuine intention. And by the end of this conversation, some of y'all are gonna stop chasing validation and finally start protecting your peace. A lot of women misunderstand what consistency really means to a man. They think if he keeps texting every day, calling every night, giving compliments, and showing attention, that automatically means he is serious. But attention is easy. Anybody can give attention when emotions are exciting. The real question is what happens when life becomes inconvenient, stressful, uncomfortable, or uncertain. That is where consistency starts mattering. See, many men are quietly observing how a woman responds in situations that do not go perfectly. Because anybody can look good when everything feels romantic. Anybody can smile during the honeymoon phase. But relationships are not built on perfect moments alone. They are built on emotional steadiness, patience, communication, and self-control during imperfect moments. A man who truly sees long-term potential is often paying attention to small reactions more than big performances. He notices how a woman responds when plans change unexpectedly. He notices how she handles disappointment. He notices whether she communicates calmly or reacts emotionally to every little shift. Because in his mind, he is not only asking himself, am I attracted to her? He is asking, can I build a peaceful life with this person? And listen carefully, peace is powerful. A mature man is not looking for perfection. He knows nobody is perfect, but he is looking for emotional consistency. He wants to know whether a woman changes completely every time her mood changes. He wants to know whether she can remain respectful even when she is upset. He wants to know if she can express feelings without turning every disagreement into emotional warfare. That does not mean women should hide emotions. Not at all. Healthy communication is necessary. But there is a difference between expressing emotions and losing control of them. A strong woman knows how to pause before reacting. She knows how to communicate without attacking. She understands that maturity is not silence. Maturity is self-awareness. And the truth is, many relationships fail, not because love disappears, but because emotional instability creates exhaustion. When every small misunderstanding becomes a major argument, people stop feeling emotionally safe. They start walking on eggshells. They become anxious instead of peaceful. That is why consistency matters so much. Now here's something many women do not realize. Sometimes a man intentionally steps back a little just to observe reactions. Maybe he gets busy. Maybe he takes longer to respond. Maybe he becomes quieter for a moment. And immediately, insecurity starts speaking louder than logic. Some women begin assuming the worst. They panic. They over-message. They create stories in their minds before having real conversations. But a confident woman understands something important. Temporary silence does not always mean rejection. She does not lose herself trying to regain attention. She stays grounded. She keeps her dignity. She continues focusing on her own life, purpose, and peace instead of making one person the center of her emotional stability. That calmness speaks loudly because desperation pushes people away, but confidence creates respect. A woman who is emotionally secure does not need constant reassurance every minute to feel valuable. She understands her worth before a relationship begins. And when a man sees that kind of stability, it stands out. In a world full of emotional chaos, calm energy feels rare. Now let's be clear about something. Consistency should never become one-sided. Women also deserve emotional consistency from men. A relationship cannot survive if only one person is bringing maturity, effort, and stability. Healthy love requires both people to show up honestly and consistently. But when a woman develops emotional balance within herself first, she stops reacting from fear. She stops chasing mixed signals. She stops begging for clarity from people who create confusion. Instead, she starts observing actions calmly and making wiser decisions. And that changes everything. Because when you are emotionally grounded, you no longer feel the need to prove your worth to every person who enters your life. You stop confusing intensity with love. You stop mistaking temporary excitement for long-term compatibility. You begin understanding that the strongest relationships are not built on constant emotional highs and lows. They are built on trust, respect, emotional safety, and steady effort over time. And the woman who masters consistency within herself becomes unforgettable. Not because she is loud, dramatic, or impossible to ignore, but because her presence brings something people secretly crave in this world: peace. One of the most powerful things a woman can learn in life is that boundaries are not walls designed to push people away. They are standards designed to protect her peace, dignity, and emotional health. And whether people admit it or not, boundaries create respect. Now listen carefully, because this is where many women struggle. A lot of women are taught to prioritize being liked over being respected. They become afraid that saying no will make them seem difficult, cold, or hard to love. So they tolerate things that hurt them. They stay quiet when something feels wrong. They ignore their intuition just to keep somebody interested. But the truth is this: every time you betray your own standards to keep another person comfortable, you slowly teach them that your boundaries are negotiable. And people pay attention to what you allow. See, one of the ways men often test women is by observing what they can get away with. Sometimes the test is subtle. Maybe he cancels plans last minute without consideration. Maybe he disappears for days and returns expecting full access again. Maybe he makes disrespectful jokes, pushes emotional limits, or gives inconsistent effort while expecting loyalty in return. Now, a woman who fears losing attention may ignore those signs. She may laugh off disrespect. She may accept bare minimum treatment because she hopes things will improve later. But a confident woman understands something important. Behavior that gets rewarded usually continues. That is why boundaries matter so much. A boundary is not yelling. A boundary is not controlling someone. A boundary is not becoming cruel or defensive. A healthy boundary is simply the ability to calmly communicate what you will and will not accept. And let me tell you something powerful. Mature people respect clarity. A woman with standards does not need to threaten, chase, or beg. She simply makes decisions based on behavior. If someone repeatedly disrespects her, she adjusts access accordingly. If effort disappears, she notices. If honesty disappears, trust changes. That kind of self-respect changes how people treat you. Because confidence is attractive, but self-respect is unforgettable. See, many women think being easygoing will make a man stay, but sometimes constantly tolerating poor behavior actually lowers attraction. Why? Because deep down, people admire those who value themselves enough to walk away from disrespect. A man who genuinely wants a strong woman does not secretly admire weakness. He admires emotional strength. He admires discipline. He admires a woman who can stand firm without becoming disrespectful herself. And let's talk about something important here. Boundaries also reveal intentions. When you start saying no to things that violate your peace, the wrong people often become uncomfortable. Why? Because access without accountability was benefiting them. Some people only like you when you are easy to manipulate, easy to guilt, or easy to control. But the right people, they respect your standards. A mature man does not get angry because a woman values herself. In fact, many emotionally healthy men appreciate women who communicate clearly, protect their peace, and know their worth. It creates trust. It creates stability. It creates mutual respect. Now, here's where many women get confused. Having boundaries does not mean becoming emotionally unavailable. It does not mean acting cold, arrogant, or impossible to reach. Healthy boundaries actually allow deeper love because they create emotional safety. When both people understand respect, honesty, and limits, the relationship becomes healthier instead of toxic. Without boundaries, resentment grows. People start giving more than they are comfortable giving. They ignore red flags, they silence emotions, and eventually frustration explodes because unspoken pain always finds a voice later. That is why boundaries are acts of self-care. And let me tell you something else. The ability to say no is one of the clearest signs of emotional maturity. Anybody can say yes because they fear rejection, but it takes confidence to disappoint somebody temporarily in order to protect your long-term peace. A woman who respects herself does not need to announce her value every 5 minutes. She shows it through her choices, through what she tolerates, through what she refuses to normalize. And over time, that changes the quality of people she attracts into her life. Because when you stop accepting disrespect just to avoid loneliness, you create space for healthier connections. You stop chasing validation from people who never intended to value you properly. You stop settling for confusion because you finally realize peace is more valuable than temporary attention. And the moment a woman truly understands that, she stops shrinking herself to be chosen and starts choosing what aligns with her worth. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is confusing attention with intention. And in today's world, that confusion happens every single day. Somebody texts consistently for a week, gives compliments, watches your stories, calls you beautiful, and suddenly emotions start getting involved. But attention alone does not prove sincerity. Attention can be temporary. Intention reveals itself through through consistency, effort, respect, and clarity over time. See, many men know how to create excitement. They know how to say the right things. They know how to make a woman feel desired in the moment. But desire and commitment are not the same thing. A person can enjoy your presence without truly planning to build anything meaningful with you. And this is where emotional wisdom becomes important, because some men test women by seeing how quickly they can gain access to their emotions, time, energy, or body without offering real consistency in return. They pay attention to whether a woman requires effort or whether she gives everything away simply because she received temporary validation. Now listen carefully, because this is not about playing hard to get. This is about understanding value. A woman who values herself does not rush emotional attachment just because somebody shows interest. She understands that real character takes time to reveal itself. Anybody can pretend during the beginning. Anybody can perform during the exciting stage. But consistency over time exposes true intentions. That is why patience protects people. See, loneliness makes people move too quickly. The fear of losing attention makes some women ignore obvious warning signs. They start excusing inconsistency. They lower standards to keep someone interested. They become emotionally invested before trust has even been built. And then when disappointment comes, they feel shocked. But the truth was there from the beginning. They were simply more attached to the attention than aware of the intention. A mature woman learns to slow down emotionally. She stops allowing compliments alone to impress her. She watches actions carefully. Does he communicate consistently? Does he respect boundaries? Does his effort remain stable when things are no longer exciting? Does he show genuine care, or does he only appear when convenient? Because effort tells the truth that words often hide. Now let me say something important. There is nothing wrong with wanting love, affection, or connection. Human beings naturally crave emotional closeness. But when someone becomes desperate for validation, they often start accepting crumbs and calling it love. And that creates dangerous situations emotionally. Because people who are desperate to be chosen usually stop evaluating who they are choosing. They ignore character. They ignore inconsistency. They ignore emotional unavailability. All because attention temporarily feels good. But attention without intention often leads to confusion, mixed signals, and emotional exhaustion. A man with genuine intentions does not only pursue when it is convenient for him, he brings clarity instead of chaos. He makes effort consistently, not occasionally. He respects timing, emotions, and boundaries. He does not disappear every time responsibility enters the picture. And let me tell you something powerful. Confusion is often the answer people avoid accepting. When someone truly values you, their actions usually create stability, not constant uncertainty. Healthy interest does not require endless guessing games. Yes, relationships take patience and communication, but genuine effort has a certain clarity attached to it. Now, here's another thing many women need to understand. Access should be earned. Not because love should feel transactional, but because trust is valuable. Your emotions are valuable. Your peace is valuable. And people who truly care about you will not resent the process of building trust naturally. A wise woman allows time to reveal people instead of forcing connections prematurely. She understands that chemistry can create excitement, but character determines safety. And character cannot be discovered overnight. That is why emotionally mature women stop chasing intensity and start paying attention to consistency. They stop being impressed by fast words and start observing long-term actions. They realize that somebody wanting access to them is not automatically proof that somebody values them deeply. There is a difference between being desired and being respected. And once a woman understands that difference, her entire dating life changes. She becomes calmer, more observant, less reactive, less desperate for instant validation. She stops giving people unlimited emotional access before they prove reliability. She stops mistaking attraction for alignment. She stops forcing potential into places where consistency is missing. And eventually, that wisdom protects her from unnecessary heartbreak. Because the right connection will never require her to abandon her standards just to keep someone interested. Real intention will reveal itself through patience, effort, honesty, and consistency over time. The healthiest relationships are never built on manipulation, fear, or constant emotional games. They are built on mutual value. Two people choosing each other honestly, consistently, and respectfully. And the moment people truly understand this, relationships stop feeling like battles for control and start feeling like partnerships built on trust. Now listen carefully, because this is important. A lot of people enter relationships trying to win attention instead of trying to build connection. They focus so much on being desired that they forget the real goal is compatibility, peace, and emotional safety. That is why many relationships look exciting in the beginning,